Summer Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing, so y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, some lightweight news in the world of boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? Lightweight division. We're pretty close to something, pretty special, right? We had that fight between Teofimo Lopez, who had all the belts except for the WBC, fight George Kambosos in the fight we didn't want to see. Remember? We didn't want to see that. We was mad because he didn't fight Devin Haney for undisputed. And but we were saying, George Kambosos, yeah, he gonna beat him, but hey, George Kambosos came in there, handled his business, and beat Teofimo Lopez, and he beat him. They didn't beat him up bad, but he beat him. So we got a new champ. George Kambosos from Australia, and he said, well, listen up. My next fight is gonna be in a stadium in Australia, baby, because I got all the belts except for the WBC. I got them all. And on WBC, I got some stuff they giving out too. So the Charlo belt, I got one of them too. But it's one belt out there left. And I'm going to fight in Australia in a big fight in the stadium, and it's going to be in May, baby. So, we all probably rejoicing because the most of us probably want to see an undisputed fight against him and Devin Haney, who has the WBC strap. Most of us know how all this happens. I might stumble upon it during the rest of this video and tell you again some of the stuff. But hey, we would like to see him fight Devin Haney for undisputed. Everything's cleared up, And think about this. I don't think it's going to be Devin Haney. And here's why. A real undisputed fight, right? An undisputed fight should sell itself, shouldn't it? Like, that's the Super Bowl of boxing, or of your weight class. That's the Super Bowl. Now, why is it we got media and fans that don't want to see no damn Super Bowl? If that, this is the finals, right? This is the World Series. This is Champions League final. This is Wimbledon final. This is all that. An undisputed fight in the weight division. Normally, the fans want to see that. Right? But in boxing, we got it where people ain't trying to see that. That damn fight should sell by itself because it's a real undisputed fight. And everyone knows it in boxing. They know that this damn new Charlo belt, a.k.a. franchise belt, right, is something new, just made up for no reason at all. Nobody asked for it, and it's not doing better. It's not helping boxing whatsoever. But we know what time it is. So, but we don't want to see this. Why won't the media hype the Super Bowl? The fight should be Devin Haney, no doubt about it, right? It shouldn't be anybody else, because after that, after we got an undisputed, right, then we can anybody else. So a lot of people who saying Lomachenko should be there. Yeah, Lomachenko, just stand first in line. Let's see if you really want to fight Devin Haney, like some of your fans are saying that you did, even though you did everything to not. You have a Charlo belt yourself, don't you? Because you didn't want to fight Devin Haney. And, but hey, Teofimo Lopez was a bigger fight than Devin Haney. Not necessarily. Because everybody who fights Devin Haney makes their most money. Let's make sure that's clear. A lot of you don't know that. Bottom line is, we ain't going to get this undisputed fight. Right? It ain't going to be Devin Haney, y'all. Right? Ain't going to be Devin Haney. And like I said before, Haney and Kambosos would be his biggest payday. And I'm hearing that Haney's already offered him his biggest payday already. So when you're seeing articles about him handling his business, and he's about to have a fight in May in a big stadium, you would think it should be for the most money, because that's what would be fighting Devin Haney, not Lomachenko or anybody else. He'll make most money fighting Devin Haney. So, and it's for undisputed. That's a no-brainer normally in any other sport, but not this one, because you got people that have these feelings about other people that are in charge of things. So that's why we keep having it. Now, most people say, well, damn, the biggest payday and undisputed. Man, that's unprecedented. That don't happen. Somebody, he gonna take that. Well, this is why the glass is half empty here. Canelo versus Andrade at 160 pounds. The same thing. Canelo get his biggest payday ever, $40 million, to fight Andrade. The Zone was gonna do this because they're both at the Zone. You would think, because Andrade's name is never mentioned with Canelo, that they're different promotion companies and they can't fight. They're different networks. They're at the same damn network too. Right? So we'd be talking about Andrade and Charlo somewhere else at another network. No, Canelo's at his network. Golovkin too, by the way. But anyway, Andrade and Charlo didn't happen. Canelo, they ignored, and the media ignored that Canelo had one fight for undisputed. What do I tell you guys when undisputed gets close? People start acting weird as hell. Every single time. Undisputed gets close. If it's Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, we're one fight away. Everybody's arguing about why we shouldn't have the fight. Canelo, no one mentions that he's got one fight and the biggest payday to fight, Andrade, right? But I'm not going to stay on that because I talk about that a lot now, don't I? Because I make sure that people understand that. We talk about all these names. Canelo could have fought Andrade and been the middleweight, undisputed middleweight champion of the world. The first Mexican to ever do that. Why 168 pounds? Nobody really cares about no damn 168 pounds like they do about middleweight. Y'all know what time it is. But anyway, now Tio, Fima Lopez, we all know him. The takeover, right? He beat Lomachenko. He didn't want to take his biggest payday fighting Devin Haney for undisputed either. Some more weird stuff as soon as we get to undefeated. Why the fighters not wanting undisputed? I don't know what's wrong. That's legacy. For the fans, that's one of the reasons I watch boxing, to see who's trying to be undisputed, who's going to be. That's one of the things I'm looking at. You know, so I can compare him to the GOAT, Lennox Lewis. Right? Or somebody who I feel is real awesome from the past. You comparing them, you want somebody to want to be. Why do you think I rolled with Deontay Wilder? The dude wanted to be undisputed, regardless. I know it. You can feel it. It's a difference. Couldn't get Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Couldn't get Teofimo, Devin Haney. We couldn't get Andre Canelo. No undisputed stuff. Canelo go up to the next division and start fighting Billy Joe Saunders and Plants and them. You know, stuff like that instead, and then gets to WBC instead of damn. But WBC, make it hard for him. Can he fight Benavidez, the one we kind of wanted to see him fight anyway? But anyway, they get weird. It is what it is. And let me tell you something else. There ain't gonna be no Canelo-Charlo fight, right? Everybody talking about Canelo versus Charlo. Canelo's team came out. We ain't fighting no damn Charlo. Get out of here, man. Period. Belittled Charlo, by the way. You know, but he ain't gonna fight Charlo. But Makabu is, man, somebody told me I can't beat Makabu. But Charlo, legacy fight. I didn't fight him back in the day when he was my mandatory. That's why we got the franchise title. That would be a good thing. It'll be, hey, I didn't need the franchise fight. That's the way to call a damn fight. Canelo versus Charlo in Texas. I didn't need the franchise belt. Right? Because, you know, it could act like I would have fought him back then. You know, something. There's a little something going on there. And he shouldn't be getting no damn $50 million to fight nobody. Canelo, neither. Period. It's too many of them easy fights in there with $50 million. And we always, I don't know why y'all still watching Canelo and them. I don't know what's up with that. It's like, how are you getting $50 million? Because there should be a lot of people not fighting, not watching his fights. Because when is the last time Canelo fought somebody that you wanted him to fight? I'm sure a lot of you go back to Golovkin. Some go back to me. I'm just going back to Jacobs because I thought, it was, you know, you fighting Jacobs. That was good. I was there. I like that. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody can't never have a loss. Jacobs was a good one, you know? But the other ones I wasn't interested. I was very disappointed when he fought Kovalev instead of Andrade. Extremely. That hurts to the day. It's because it's not that he did that. It's because that he was enabled. That no one's talking about it except me. It's ridiculous. Even today, people still, right now, people talking about Canelo Charlo. You know, Canelo's at the Zone. Charlo's over there at Showtime, PBC and all that. Different side of the streets. Andre's on the same side of the street. We don't even talk about him. But we'll act like your boy Terrence Crawford and Spence can't fight because they're on the other sides of the street. But right after saying that, they're on the other side of the street, they go right to Charlo and Andrade, right? Should fight. Two sides of the street. Or Charlo and Canelo. Different sides of the street. That's what we're talking about, though. I thought the sides of the street mattered. I told you it doesn't. Because we ain't talking about Andrade, Canelo, and Gennady Golovkin are on the same damn side of the street, and we never talk about them. Till that happens, the side of the street don't mean nothing. Now, something else going out. Pay attention to. You know, because just if you come here, you're paying attention to stuff. Michael Hunter, another Negro League fighter. I know a lot of people like, man, Michael Hunter, man, he ain't all that. Whatever. I'm just going to say this. He's a small heavyweight coming from cruiserweight and beat up a whole lot of bigger dudes. And bottom line, and he should be celebrated even before that Forrest fight, which I still haven't seen, by the way, right? A lot of things, you know. This guy has beaten some people in the heavyweight, and he's should have beat Povetkin, right? And he should have been having a championship fight against Dillian White instead of Povetkin, to be honest. But whatever. But anyway, Michael Hunter, you know, he didn't fight that Herkovich, right? Because they tried to ask him to fight Herkovich, and he was just switching from, I think, Matchroom going over to Trilla or something, right? So he was in between contracts trying to get some stuff where he can headline a few, a few cards, So that's what he was trying to switch up. And so he didn't fight Herkovich at the time, who was still at Matchroom, right? So he was, some people say he ducked him and all that stuff. And so the IBF took him out of the rankings, right? Just cool then. Some people might be saying, well, yeah, he didn't fight Herkovich, so cool, he's out of the rankings. Okay. Ryan Garcia is the mandatory for Devin Haney. Refused to fight him as his mandatory. He's not taken out of the rankings. They even say his name before Devin Haney's most of the damn time, which irks me. Hell, we talking about Ryan Garcia before Devin Haney fought. Not even ridiculous. Ridiculous. But okay. Canelo Alvarez didn't fight, was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade at 154. He didn't get taken out of the rankings. You know what happened to him? He got promoted, actually, to the fight with Liam Smith for the vacant title because Demetrius Andrade got stripped because he couldn't get no fights. So instead of like, look, he's too good, he can't get fights, so we kicking him out and we letting two busters fight. That's what happened. That's the plain English side of it. Okay, it's ridiculous, right? Right now, Demetrius Andrade can't get his mandatory to fight for him right now. Jaime Munguia. Right? And every time they talk about Jaime Munguia versus Golovkin versus anybody except what you are at the same network as Demetrius Andrade and you're his mandatory and you don't have to fight him and you're not being kicked out of any rankings, are they? That's Ryan Garcia, Canelo, and Munguia ain't getting kicked out of rankings, and they were all mandatories. Michael Hunter wasn't no damn mandatory. He was just in the rankings, probably next to Herkovich, and didn't fight him and got kicked out of the rankings. You see where I'm going with this? It's ridiculous. So when you take it back up to the top, Kambosos ain't fighting no damn Haney. Because he ain't got to. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.